Broadcasting to viewers in Liberia and across the globe, hello and welcome to KMTV News Today. My name is Anthony Kukui. Wherever you're watching us from, we say thanks for joining our news broadcast tonight. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Just in until a release from St. Joseph Catholic Hospital following protesters' demand. Bon County Representative Marvin Cole calls for the resignation of Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Njala. National consultation session on the establishment of National Climate Services enters second day in Monrovia. Welcome to KMTV News. We begin at the consultative workshop where regional bodies are known as embarking on a series of measures to help develop the region from diverse sectors. On Thursday, delegates from the region began a 3-day consultative workshop for the establishment of the National Framework for Climate Change. Speaking at the program, Deputy Transport Minister Salif Talo stressed the important need for the establishment of a National Climate Service in Liberia. Here now is the Deputy Transport Minister speaking at the program.
We need the legalization of, when I mean legalization, I'm talking about setting up an agency that will incorporate the Labrador Hydrological Service and the Labrador Med Service from the Ministry of Transport to be able to run the National Meteorological Center. It is our hope that this workshop will be producing a validation document, and the document will be assessing Liberia's capacity for climate services. As per our capacity, we have done so far and we need more done for the people of Liberia and the Edwards region at large. Through our early warning project, we've installed 12 meteorological stations. We have 11 hydromet stations to go. We have a live website. We trained around 100 professional staffers in and out of the country, but we need to professionalize the sector. And in the professionalization of the sector, we are hoping that there will be gender sensitivity in the delivery of the services to the people of this country. What we need is to improve early warning system that farmers and the country and people and everybody can benefit from, but also we need climate information dissemination to our people. We are talking about what is through live media, through mobile phone services, or any service that can directly get to the end users for the services that we need to provide.
Also speaking at the program was ECOWAS Mission Program Assistant Blessing Chikachiku, who re-echoed the need to help support the sector, which she added is essential to safeguard the gains that have been made so far in the sector.
In Liberia, this process began about a year ago, and today we gather for a national consultation workshop. It's an important step that opens the horizons for strengthening the Liberia climate services. The effective operationalization of this framework will help strengthen the capacity of the national meteorology and deliver quality services to national users to deal with the consequences of climate change in priority development sectors. To achieve this, support from the government, technical and financial partners of the national meteorological and hydrological structures is essential so that they can fully play their roles in safeguarding the gains they've learned in key development sectors in West Africa, and particularly in the Republic of Liberia. Ladies and gentlemen, the ECOWAS Commission reiterates its commitment to continue this process so that by 2020, all its member states will be covered in collaboration with neighboring institutions working in the field, such as Agreement Regional Center and the African Center of Meteorological Application for Development, ACMAD. This collaboration with the World Meteorological Organization will help finalize the process of setting up this national framework and its operationalization with a view to help strengthen the climate services in our member states. I'm hopeful that your massive participation today in this national consultation workshop would reflect your personal commitment to ensure the development of this national framework.
Meanwhile, the regional coordinator of the World Meteorological Organization, Dr. Pascal Yaka, called for more awareness and education to be provided to the public in order to enlighten them about the key role they have to play within the society.
The purpose of the National Framework for Climate Services is to coordinate and enable institutions to work together to co-design, co-produce, communicate, deliver, and make use of climate services for decision-making in climate-sensitive economic, social sectors. This framework will contribute to generate a consensus and awareness among stakeholders about the benefit of the investment in water, climate services, and early warning system to sustain the social and economic development of Liberia. It will also contribute to create a platform for governments, regional organizations, donors, private sector, civil society, academia, technical community, and gender advocates to discuss and design the future course in terms of provision, communication, using of climate information and services in Liberia. I therefore call on the development partners to support the process. I welcome the partnership with Economic Community of Western African States, ECOWAS, World Meteorological Organization, and the government of Liberia through the process of the development of a strategic action plan on climate services and the holding of the current national consultation workshop. I'm sure that this kind of partnership, thanks to the full involvement of United Nations agencies, humanitarian, private, and other support agencies, will significantly contribute to a better economic and social development of Liberia.
Let's now move forward to Capitol Hill, where Bond County Representative Marvin Cole is calling for the resignation of Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Njala. According to him, his call is due to the minister's failure to distinguish whether the Phoebe Hospital in Bond County is a private or a public institution. Speaking to reporters Thursday at his office, Representative Cole said it will completely undermine the grant and subsidy policy crafted by the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning in the current budget laws. That's if the current budget law considers the proposed $1.5 million United States dollars for subsidy in the government. That's for subsidy by the government. He branded the alleged action of corruption at the Phoebe Hospital as economic gangsterism, which he noted should be stopped by now.
Concerning the Phoebe Hospital, I strongly believe that the Ministry of Health has not been able to do due diligence to inform the Liberian government whether Phoebe is a private hospital or public hospital. In my mind, with the decisions and actions of actors in Phoebe, suggests that Phoebe is a private hospital. And I'm also calling on His Excellency Ambassador George Manning, we are the President of Liberia and the Vice President, including the Speaker of the Pro Tem, that this budget is at the verge of being signed, which I participated in, a Phoebe being $1.5 million. You only have $400,000 there for compensations. In my mind, if this is a private institution, the Minister of Finance came up with the grant and subsidy policies that no private institution should benefit in the national budget than the public institutions. In my mind, if this budget is approved without it being rectified, that Phoebe is a public institution, that will entirely undermine the subsidy and grant policy designed and formulated by the Ministry of Finance. The economic gangsterism at Phoebe must be stopped by this government. So I want to reiterate my call on the Minister of Health. At this point in time, the only thing I will be asking her for immediate resignation. Because as a minister, when we are asking you more than 1 month, you cannot call on the judges that control Phoebe and management to know whether it's public or it's private. Then there is an organized game that has been played with government since 2016 up to present.
Still with more legislative news, Senator Darius Dillon has highlighted the need for public officials, especially legislatures, to work in the interest of the masses. The Most County Senator named the reductions in salaries and benefits for lawmakers as a basic tool that will serve as a loyalty to such call.
You think I get tired of you going around, go there, all the minute cost, government, salary coming reduced, especially from the legislature? I ain't get anything for that. The Liberian people know who really made the fire, who really compare us to do it. You can have on IMF, account can bring all a letter from 10 years ago. The Liberian people know. George Weah said, fool you. Said last year, George Weah lied and said, I reduced my salary by 25%. No citizen under the roof know what constitutes 25%. Who here know how much George Weah making? So what constitutes 25%? The man with you, he let it go there, he moved 25%. What is it? I can't them running around where we do our money by 31%. What is the amount? What constitutes 31%? Not until we went there and put a light on. Nobody can say around and close to an orange year again. Everybody knows what we earn. And we said, we'll take only 5,000 of that money and return the rest to the county and the people. Today, at the legislature, the both process, everybody talking about 5,000 or 5,000 now, we're forcing down the throat. So, never, why don't you get money in your pocket to be lawmaker? It's about your principle and your character, your passion to serve. And that your one voice can change something. We want a whole generation to believe that one voice can change a room, like Barack Obama said. And one room can change a community. And one community can change a state. And one state can change a whole country. And one country can change the world.
To this development now, angry citizens on Thursday morning stormed the facility of the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital in Congo Town, demanding the release of Justina Taylor. Madam Taylor has been undergoing treatment at the Catholic Hospital with heavy security presence after she alleged that some senior members of government were after her life. The angry protesters, many young people, flooded the hospital facility demanding the release of Madam Taylor. Well, KMTV camera was on the scene and spoke to some of the protesters today.
From 1990 till now, when we have established peace, they bear abusing with the women. There is about time for us to stand for ourselves. We need Justina Taylor, and we need justice. Justice will prevail itself today. We need justice. And what we here for today, if this government wants to play with us, so we have to hold up today. We are under the sun, we are under the breeze. We want to see women that get back to him. We want to see women that put him in power. We want to see women that stood up for him. They're not here to guide us. They're going to listen. Everybody are regime police. They are not police of our people. They are regime police.
We are not here to cherish Cali Hospital. No. We are not here to cherish people. No. We are trying to get one Justina Taylor out and get her for interview. That is why we are here. Hey, attempted attempt to compromise. We will begin still in the process. There is still in the process. We have come to carry on. That's why yesterday, our lawmakers, our senators, we expected yesterday to have taken on and carry on. Today, our action today here is not going to be theirs. Diplomacy should have been sent. Justina being in the hospital. And yet Justina told the government, for those people that she wanted to go for interview. We expected them here yesterday. Today, we already respected them. But we having a time by.
Well, following their protest, Madam Justina Taylor was later released. Here now is human rights campaigner Adama Dempster explaining more to reporters about her release.
And they have come to inform us that Justina is not charged for any crime. There is no record for Justina to be held on a hostage or whatsoever. But what has happened is that they said that they had initial complaint from Justina, which they wanted to use to investigate based on the trauma, her adoption. So they, as a police, they are on an obligation to investigate. So, but given the circumstances, if she is a complainant, she's not in the state of mind to testify or to speak, her rights cannot be violated. So in the context of that, they provided a form for us to have a waiver. She can waive her right to not say anything to the police. And then once that is done, she can go. So on her behalf, the human rights community has signed on her behalf, and then the police have made it clear that she's unassociated to leave. So the human rights community has signed for Justina association. She's on our jurisdiction right now. So we're going to ensure safety for her. And the issue about the interview, the embassy cannot remain open up to now because they're not working for either of or they'll be waiting for a single person. So we're going to arrange for the embassy for her to do an interview on Tuesday because they are scheduled for embassy interview date. So those are things we're going to arrange to see.
When is it scheduled for?
Well, we're going to do everything. We're going to do everything to get it by Tuesday. Tuesday, we're leaving now. My police are coming.
So it means that she has dropped the rape case, the adoption case.
No, right now she's not in a stable condition. Until she becomes stable, she can ask for her case to be investigated.
Meanwhile, Information Minister Len Eugene Nangbe said some individuals are using the situation to gain political relevance at the detriment of the peace the country is enjoying.
About months ago, one lady, Justina Taylor, told the police that she was assaulted, raped, drugged by people who she named to be even those in the government of Liberia. She went to the police to complain that she was drugged, assaulted, attacked, raped, and that her life was being threatened. We are a country of laws. Our government is determined to ensure that the rule of law prevails. That every citizen, in spite of your political, ethnic, tribal, religious inclination, every citizen has to be protected by the government. Therefore, the police took the right step and protected her. Because she said she was raped and assaulted and that her life was threatened, the police, in keeping with our legal procedures, took her to the hospital and protected her over a month ago. It was the police that took Justina Taylor to the Catholic hospital. And since she was taken there, the police been protecting her. There have been police on duty 24/7 since she was taken there because the allegations are grave. Rape, attempted murder, assault, battery. All of a sudden, agitators, political opportunists saw that as an avenue to further disturb the peace of Monrovia. They amass hoodlums, they amass stragglers, to go to the hospital and basically cause confusion and prevent the smooth operation of the hospital.
Well, with that development coming from the Ministry of Information, that's how we go home on this Thursday's edition of KMTV News Today. But before we go, let's take a look at stories that made the headlines. Justin Taylor released from the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital following protesters' demand. Bon County Representative Marvin Cole calls for the resignation of Health Minister Dr. William Njala. And National Consultation Session on the establishment of National Climate Change Services enters its second day in Monrovia. We say many thanks to you for always joining our news broadcast from across the globe. On behalf of the entire news team here, my name is Anthony Kuku. You can also visit our website at www.kmtvliberia.com for more news and information. Until we're back here tomorrow with more news and development, we'll have yourself a good night.